Hi, my name is Sari. Thanks for joining me as Sari Seed family. So I'm the founder of Sari Seed. So just a brief description of myself. Yeah, I used to be very outgoing when I was young, but because of some accumulative events since young from my primary school until the days at my workplace, I became a very quiet person and always in my own world. So I do not know how to express myself because all I got was rejection and people laughing at my stupidity. All right. So because of that, my confidence level actually went negative. Then I started to feel that there was no point in voicing out my opinions because anyway, right, no one actually understood me. Okay, so slowly I went back into my own shell and retreat from the world. But even though I still like to do one thing, that was to please people. I like to please people because I'm always worried like how people will look at me. Then I'm also worried I will offend people with my bluntness because sometimes I'm a very straightforward person. Then so even I knew the person was just making use of me. So what happened is I will still say, sure, it's okay. I will do it for you by tonight. So I'm not sure, are you someone like me, So after over 20 years of having the same behavior and cycle, I felt very stuck and tired. I realized that communication is very important regardless of at work, relationship, or even our daily lives. So no matter how much effort I put in, actually failure to communicate is a failure to express feelings. Most of you are here because if I'm not wrong, right, most of you are actually a yes person. Okay. So yes, remember, failure to communicate is a failure to express. This is very important. And in the end, I always feel that I'm the victim. So to be frank, somehow people see you differently when you are a great communicator because they can see your confidence. So I remember when I first started as an entrepreneur and joined an event, and the person mistook me as an assistant of another company. So for that time, I really feel a bit hurt. So after that, I decided to break through. Yes, it's not really not very easy, like, because I spent all my money and 5 years time just to break through and transit to become a trainer. Okay, but then again, the first company that I joined closed down after a few months. And so once again, I was back to square one. Okay, so then I realized one thing. Actually, breaking through is a lifetime courage and not a one-time action or impulse. Until now, I'm still striving to improve myself to become a better person. By the way, although I have a certificate in behavior modification, but just to let you know, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a coach or anything. I'm just a simple person like anyone else, okay, who wants to share my experiences with you in the hope that it can help you in some ways. All right, so if I can do it, I believe all of you can do it even better. Okay, so are you ready with a pen and paper? So let's get started. Okay. Now, so what impacts me to come up with this topic? Last month, when I was in the MRT, I saw a petite lady. She's very small size, carrying a baby. The baby looked quite huge. It seems like it could cover her whole face. So she was standing without a handrail to hold. So at that time, no one offered her a seat. Actually, I'm very sad because sometimes when I was in the MRT, right, I was thinking, how come sometimes got old people, but nowadays you realize that no one actually offered to give them a seat anymore. It's like out of 10, maybe probably 1 or 2 only. So it was quite a sad thing. So that time I was standing near the glass pane because I have no seat also. So I was looking around to see if anyone could help. But after that, I called her. I decided to call her and then offer her my standing place where she could actually lean against the glass pane. However, she sounded very neutral. She said, "It's okay." So that time I was wondering, was it really okay or not? Or was she just thinking, I can do it. I've been doing this all this while anyway. Of course, I'm not her, so probably it's just my assumption. But it ponders to me because it triggers my past where I had gone through a lot. And I always have the same thoughts like, no one understands me or help me anyway. I just have to do it myself alone. So this is my thought. So in these lifetimes, can you remember how many times have you said it's okay? Every time. This sign, correct? It's okay. How many times have you said that? So example, Someone passes by and asks, can you help me with this? Then you think for a while, oh, sure, it's okay. So maybe your friend said, hey, I can't return you the money because some reasons. Okay lor, then it's okay lor. Then at work, even you have something you need to finish by today, okay. Then maybe in relationship, I can't give you commitment and that you want. Why? Okay lor, it's okay lor, see how. Correct. And even lastly, even family, right? I'm unable to help and support you anymore. It's okay. And what we can reply is it's okay. But is that really okay or not? You ask yourself, deep in our hearts, is that really okay for us? Why do we say okay? We say okay is because we want to make sure the person right in front of us feel okay. But to us, we don't really feel okay because our hearts will never lie. Okay? So reasons why people may choose to keep quiet. Have you really realized that the ones who really need help are the ones who chose to suffer in silence? Because I'm one of those. I rather struggle myself than to impose others, and I don't like to owe people a favor. I'm very afraid to ask people for help, and finally, I don't even know how to open my mouth and ask for help. So that's me. So yes, I have a lot of stories, but the thing is, who listens? Everyone has their own stories, but who listens? So actually, sometimes what we want is not suggestions, not advices, but what we want is someone to listen to us. Even though they can't give us any solution, we just need to have a person who is trustable, safe, and comfortable enough for us to speak our mind without judging us. That's the most important thing, without any judgment. I had a few times when I thought I had trustable friends who can talk to, but the next minute, my secret was no longer a secret. So the whole world knows my secret, my office, everyone will know my secret. And one even personally attacked me with my bad situation at that time. So that was when I felt even worse, and I realized that I could not trust anyone anymore. So every night I will cry myself to sleep, and the next morning, right, I still have to wear a mask and please everyone. Wow, that is in the past. So of course there are many people who will give you suggestions, right? If you realize, just to show you the way, it's like okay lah, don't talk already lah. I really give you suggestions, correct? So just stop it. That kind of vibe. I'm not sure you encountered something like that. Okay, so what are the reasons? So from here, there are 5 reasons that you can take note. Let's take a look at the 5 reasons why people choose not to speak up. Then you decide whether you actually falls into these 5 reasons. All right. So you may have your own reason. You may have your own very own reason. So you can improvise within my concept lah. What we are doing now. So reason 1. Say also no use. Say also must do. Say also don't understand. No one listens. No one can help. Correct? So probably some of us will think, say also no use. Say really also cannot help much. They don't understand me or even care about how I feel. So we choose not to speak up anymore. So sometimes we believe that the more we speak up, the more negative remarks we will receive. Correct? Then making us feel very worse. So this is reason 1. Okay, what's the reason 2? Later, you'll tell me which reasons you fall between. So the reason 2 is what to do. I'm not sure you heard something like that. What to do? It could be a very simple phrase. So this person usually have the feel of like accepting your own destiny. It's like, this is my destiny. It's like, I have gone through all this and it doesn't work anymore. I already know it cannot work. I can't change anything. So face it law and change it law, correct? And then you will encounter the same cycle and again and again. And finally, you found yourself trapped in the same maze. Then you will say, what to do? Okay, reason 3. What if? Hypothesis, correct? All right, what if? What if I voice out? They judge me. They think I'm very stupid. Okay, what if I'm too straightforward, accidentally offend them? So what if I say already, people don't like me anymore? There are so many what ifs in our life, correct? So there was a time when I had a career switch and finally found a job that I like. So one of my seniors asked me out many times and I was so afraid to reject her. Why? Because I'm afraid that once I offend her, I will lose my job. So at that time, I was about to go home, but she stopped me. and insisted me to follow her everywhere. So eventually, right, when I wanted to go back home, it started to rain very heavily. And unfortunately, I fell hard on the stairs and fractured my spine. At that time, seriously, I'm very sad that no one actually helped me up. I was sitting in the rain with my umbrella, everything spoiled, and no one actually helping me up. Despite that, a few person actually is standing right in front of me waiting for the traffic. So that time I was devastated because I had not really started my own new job. Not really started. It's just like a freelance. And imagine I still need my old parents to support me if I will be wheelbound, correct, wheelchair bound. So that time I cried very hard, and this became the very, very, very first reason why I decided not to be a people pleaser anymore, just because I'm afraid to offend someone. Okay, reason 4, is that you? Yes, it's me. I'm tough. Not that I choose to, so how about you? I trusted my friends and poured out all my troubles and emotions to them, but in the end, they told the entire world about it, and they condemned my dreams and said I couldn't make it. So that was when I realized there was no one actually there to help or support me at all. There was no one there to work with me, and those who have helped me usually have motive, meaning that they expect me to do more things in return for them, expecting me to do more things for them. And then, of course, on the other hand, of course, I'm actually grateful for them, like, because of them, right, I learned to be independent and become a stronger person. Okay, what is reason 5? The last reason for now. Now, the last reason for now, right, is the lack of awareness and self-love, also like me. I love to help people because I can understand when you need help and no one is there for you. It feels very terrible. So that's the reason I love to help people. Probably it's my nature, or probably because it inherits from my mom. She's a very nice person, always get bullied by others also. So I always put others' needs before myself. I want to feel useful and ensure everyone around me is happy. That's my motive. I want everyone to be happy. So therefore, I made the decision to accept requests from people, even though I was overburdened. And in the end, I can't meet my own deadline. Then I started to cry. So after a while, I realized I validate my own worth through the eyes and opinion of others. So if someone ever tell me, hey, you're actually not good, you're not able to help me at all, I will completely believe in the words and I will feel very useless. So these are all the 5 reasons that impact us in speaking out. All right. So do you have all the 5 reasons? Any of the 5 reasons? Hopefully you have. Okay, you can type in the group chat if you want, or you want to private message me also can. Okay, so let's do the exercise. So we have a few exercises. We have 4 exercises. Now this one you must do yourself ready. Okay, so get yourself a pen and paper ready. There are 4 exercises in total. Means part 1, part 2, 3A and 3B. Find the truth. So what is the main reason we are not speaking up? There must be a root cause. I think everyone knows it. There must be a root cause. So you help me to grade every reason between 1 to 10 and then rank the top 3 accordingly. Okay? For these 5 reasons. Okay, I'll show you an example. Now this is my example. The first one. Say also no use. Because to me, whatever I say, no one ever cares to listen. So this might also link to what to do. Example, say also no use already, what? So what to do? And yes, I'm tough. It's not that my choice. Frankly, if someone else worked with me when I was in bad shape, probably I won't be as tough as now. Correct. It's because I don't have a choice. We are being forced to be tough. So I shall give you around 1 to 2 minutes to do this first exercise. After that, right, choose the most dominant one to work with. Let's say for my case, the most dominant one will be the reason 1, say also no use, let's say. All right, so after that, I'll work on that. So remember one thing, breakthrough can be in small steps and it's a lifetime courage. All right. So the thing is, what makes us feel this way? All right. Now we know what is the main reason and truth of not speaking up in the first exercise. So these are all on the surface level, correct? It can be seen and heard. All right, so it's all about thinking and doing, but what is the true emotion within us that leads to the cause of the 5 reasons? So it's about how we feel already. So example, let's say I feel powerless. Why? Because I cannot change my situation now. I feel insecure because I'm not sure the person I've trusted will leak up my secrets or not. I feel I made the wrong choice by speaking up and get misunderstood by others. I realize I'm supposed to express myself this way, but ultimately it comes out as something else. Okay. Okay, the second exercise. Find the keyword that impacts you based on the top 3 that you have chosen. Okay, based on the top 3 you have chosen, give each reason one keyword lah. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that just now, let's say, if you remember, right, just now we have chosen these 3. There are 5 truths. Okay, say also no use, what to do, what if, I'm tough, lack of self-worth. All right. So if you have time, then you do the 3. My most dominant one is the first one, 4th one, and 5th one. All right. But if let's say you don't have time, you can try the first one first. Example, say also no use, it means what? I give up. Powerless means what? Powerless means I cannot control my destiny. Fear, why? Because you fear? Because what if this happen? What if that happen? Ego, ego meaning what? I can do myself what? Why do I do? Correct. And low self-value also. All right. So you don't have to follow my keyword because this keyword is for myself. Okay. So you follow yours. Okay. So you write down the one keyword. All right. So how this keyword can affect our patterns of thought? Okay, what are patterns? Patterns are like watermark appearing all over the place. Correct? So let's say, right, patterns are like Google search where you same keyword you reappear, right? You realize every time you type in the same keyword, you appear like your SEO. So it's like it has been saved into your brain already. So it's like for myself, I say give up, give up, give up, I give up, I give up. So what happened? Every time when I want to speak, I give up already. So it will affect your patterns of thoughts. All right. So understanding patterns of thoughts, this one very important. Why patterns are so hard to break? Now imagine you plant a seed, you nurture it, you give time, love, effort, water it again and again. Then you feel very attached. Why? Because this is one that you give with all your heart. You have sacrificed so much time and effort in nurturing. Correct. So this is a time where you have created from start. So what happened is slowly, right, it finally becomes part of your life. So without it, you feel like something is missing. So every time when we are triggered, our minds would automatically pull in the highest key data. You know, highest key data like SEO. You key in the keywords, everything will come up. They will just pull in the same pattern, the same process and thoughts over and over again. So that's the reason is we find it very hard to break the cycle because we nurture the patterns of our thoughts ourselves. All right. So if you are the one who nurture the patterns of thought yourself, you should be the one who break through the patterns of thought on your own. Okay. So imagine one day you started to grow worm. All right. We know that these patterns of thoughts do not serve us anymore. Correct. But yet we chose to go back to the same patterns and thoughts because that is the easiest thing to follow. So we are so familiar with one thing that we find so hard to do something different. So now ask yourself this question. If this happens, are you going to catch the worms one by one? Meaning that when the problems arises, then you go and solve it. Or did arise, then you just don't care, it's okay, never mind. Or you prefer to throw away the whole plant, start a new one. It's up to you. All right. And lastly, what happened? Finally, we get used to it. So used to it is the very last word that we want to use ever in this lifetime. Why is that so? Because it just means it's okay. So since you already get used to it, then why are you here? It means that you are aware of this problem. You know deep in your heart that something is wrong. So it's time for so yes, it's time for change. So, are you ready to break this pattern? All right. So learn to speak. Learn to speak meaning what? Now, the first one, learn to speak. Self-talk. P means problem. E means emotion. Accept and then be kind. Now, what is self-talk? Self-talk is the way you talk to yourself. The voices that keeps appearing in your mind, whether you're sitting, standing, eating. Okay, so this is very important because you need to be aware of how you think and feel throughout every moment. So how this self-talk can affect your emotions? All right, do you feel happy or do you feel sad? So is this self-talk a positive one or a negative one? So imagine if you cannot speak to yourself, then how can you convince yourself to speak to anyone? All right, so what you can do is find a quiet place totally out of a comfort zone. Just get away from someone that you don't like to see or get away from people. Sometimes it really helps because it will help you to calm your mind and it can help you to get out of the same patterns of thoughts when you feel more relaxed and at peace. Okay, so the keyword is relax and at peace. All right, then you realize that actually your perspective change. It's not as difficult as what you think. It's not as bad as what you think. So in most cases, right, we already know what we want inside us actually. But because of the external factors and reality, so what makes it very hard for us to settle, it becomes very, very hard to settle our mind because we tend to overthink. Our self-talk. All right. Okay, the next one, problem. Identify the problem. Okay, what is the main cause that stops from speaking? As for me, let's say for me, right, my problem is say also no use. So just asking, do you have any friends or close ones? The moment you start to tell them about your own, then they will start to interrupt and then talk about their own story and how they suffered a worse fate than you. Or probably they will say, actually, I'm more fortunate than you. I have a better life than you. All right. Sometimes you'll find these friends. So what happens is when you tell them about your dreams, they will start to judge you and tell you straight that, hey, your dream is so unrealistic, leh. How can it happen? Then you'll start to condemn and laugh at your dreams by saying it's unachievable. Or even sometimes when you tell them about problems, right? Probably they will say, you should do this, you should do that. I'm not sure whether all this sounds familiar to you or not. Hopefully not. So to me, they are not always listening. Okay? They only see in their own point of view. So that's the main reason I chose not to speak up eventually. Because say also no use. So of course, one day if I found someone who is trustworthy and willing to listen to me, of course my perspective will change. All right. So you have to think, do you remember what was the trigger that impacted you so much that you decided to shut off from others? And what is the main cause? This is very important. So this is exercise 3. Exercise 3, so-called 3A. So now let's take a look at this exercise 3. If you want, you can screenshot. All right. Then remember the one keyword that you have chosen in exercise 2. Yeah. Example, if I choose the reason what to do, then the keyword will be powerless because no choice what to do. Correct. So probably you can write down 3 to 5 inner voices that cause this main problem, such as, okay, let's say for me, I try to voice out, but I do not know how to express clearly. Okay, because sometimes if I don't know how to express clearly, whatever people listen, right, it might be distorted. Then every time I give ideas, people will say, no lah, this idea cannot work lah. So you always have the self-talk, the voice saying that, hey, this one cannot work, this one cannot work. So you have no confidence really, correct? No confidence, feel inferior to people. All right, so now I probably give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 minutes to come up with at least 3 inner voices. Okay, don't think too much. Don't tutor your thoughts. Whatever comes to your mind, the one that keeps talking to you, just write down. See which one impact you the most. E means what? E means emotions. How does this problem impact your emotion? When you think of this problem, do you feel happier or do you feel very sad or angry? Or do you feel stronger or weaker than before? All right. So if these similar scenarios happen again, do you think it will trigger you back again? Sometimes you realize that what happened, probably you have already gone through all the past. Then you realize that, oh, actually I'm fine again. I become a stronger person. Then you realize that, how come second time, right, you saw the same scenario again. Then you realize, actually I have not healed myself totally. Okay, so sometimes when you meet the same kind of person, right, it's not to trigger you, it's just to let you know that you have not been healed totally. All right, so whether we are sad or angry or happy, what type of solutions can be done? Most importantly is to put you at ease. Remember, peace is very important. All right, so how does this problem impact your emotions? Does it makes you become a better person or not, or become a more temperamental person or a more sensitive person? If the same situation arises, will you choose to react differently, or how are you going to handle? Okay, so emotions are very important because it's deep in our heart. Sometimes it's like even subconsciously we are not aware of what's going to happen. Okay, A, accept. Accept, very important. Accept who you are. No one's perfect. All right, accept that rejections or failures now doesn't mean that define who you are in the future. All right, accept that not everyone can help you. This one very important. And accept that in the end, probably you still have to take the first step to walk the journey on your own before anyone else can walk with you. You know, every time when things happen, we always have to walk ourselves. It's when things start to pick up, then people will start to walk with you. Sad to say, but it's most likely it's the truth. All right, so for those people, if you have anything happen and someone walk with you, I think it's a blessing. All right, so treasure it. So don't wait for anyone to accept you, because you have the choice not to accept others also. Okay, everyone deserves the rights to have options. Okay, now K, S-P-E-A-K. Kind. Be kind to who? Of course, be kind to yourselves. Self-pity doesn't get you anywhere, except to make yourself feel like a victim. So if you're not kind to yourself, who do you think will be kind to you? So waiting for others to give you love and concern is like waiting a windfall from the sky. It just never happens. So even if it happens, right, then you will start to long for more. So when the person don't look for you, what happens? You'll feel like, how come? Why? This kind of feel. But in the first place, it's not yours to begin with, because in the first place, we have to be kind to ourselves first. So free yourself from people who destructively condemn you in whatever you want to do. Free yourself from the past. You might not be able to stop the memories that keep replaying in your mind, but you can stop yourself from making the same mistakes again. So finally, what is your value? Define for yourself, not from others. Okay? So now imagine what happens when a pattern is about to break. Now imagine you're driving on a road. You are going to a totally new place that has never been before. Correct? So reaching towards the end of the road, you look at the second image. What do you think you will decide to do at that time? Imagine you're driving. Then you saw something like a fog. What do you do? What do you think you will do? Because you cannot see your future. You're not sure what is there. Correct? Will you break through or will you break down? Probably for now, we will say, of course, we will break through. Correct? But don't forget, in truth, breaking through is an action, not a thought. You have to do something different from the previous. Okay, so when we go back to old ways, so just that point of moment when you reach that destination, right, where you see all the fog, correct? Will you choose to U-turn back at that point of moment? Because it's either you take the risk or you lose the chance. And sometimes you don't even have a second chance, to be frank. So the right question to ask ourselves is, do I want to go back to your old ways? Do you want to go back to your old ways? If not, then what are you going to do next? If we already know the present situation is not what we want, then why don't we try something new and see what happens next? Correct? But of course, if yes, then it's okay to be in comfort zone because you choose and live your own lives. No one live for you. So there's no right and wrong, except whether will we live in regrets or not if we don't do the things we want in this lifetime. So what if there's a special tool that allows you to know about your future and you really know that your future will be so much better than your past? Will you still turn back or not? But the thing is, there's no such tool. Alright, even if you're just saying, even if you go those prophecy or that, right, they can't even really tell you the future. Because future is in your own hands. Except there's no such tool except an intangible field that is called faith. F-A-I-T-H. your own faith. So it's either you choose to believe in your own choice to create the faith you want, or you choose to go back to the same cycle. Okay, so once again, make a decision. Do you want to break through or break down, or you want to break through tomorrow? All right. Okay, this is the last exercise. Remember just now when we do the third exercise 3A, just now we're talking about the voice, right? Try to voice out but do not know how to express clearly. All right, so example, the mirroring voice. What is mirroring voice? You know, usually when we mirror, it's actually the other way around. So focus on objective. Write or draw your main points before expressing yourself, because some people are more visual. They cannot write, they need to draw. So who says you cannot draw your main points? No one says that, correct? So see things with an open heart and mind. Just do whatever you're comfortable and try to see from different perspectives. Now give ideas that people always reject. So rejection means what? Rejection doesn't mean that you are rejected forever. Sometimes when people reject you, your idea in this company, right? But who knows, when you found the right person, the person might feel that you have the most innovative ideas. You'll never know. All right? Now, no confidence. Feel inferior to others. Actually, do you realize not everyone is confident in every way, if you realize? No, definitely. Because I might feel confidence in this project, but I might not feel confidence in talking, correct, or in speaking. So you have to find back your own confidence. Where does your confidence come from? And you pick up from there. All right? So what will happen if you still don't speak up? This one very important. Why? The world will pity you. Instead, they will continue to step on you. You can never get what you deserve in this life. All right? This is the truth. All right? Because why you didn't speak up for your rights? And to be frank, in this world, no matter how much you have helped someone, there are sure people who do not appreciate you and even treat you like a doormat. They treat our kindness as stupidity. And guess what? They are right. Because why? This is how we teach them how to treat us. So eventually, right, we don't even have the rights to complain. Okay? So after being a doormat for so many years, I told myself I have to speak up for myself. All right. Speaking up doesn't mean that to quarrel or argue. No, it's just that you have to be firm in what you are going to do. All right. Okay, summarize. Finally, hopefully you'll get the 4 exercises. First one, if you remember, find the truth. What are the top 3 reasons that stop you from speaking up? And don't forget, this top reason, right, is surface level, can be seen and heard. The second one, find your keyword. What is your main keyword that is based on your inner emotions? How you feel? What is the one keyword that triggers you? Let's say for me, right, the one word that triggers me is I give up because I talk also no use. Correct. So that's the main keyword. Then problem, write down 3 to 5 inner voices of yours. Okay, why you think that you talk also no use. Okay, and lastly, mirroring your voices, replace your inner voice with positive ones. This forces our mind to think from one perspective to another perspective. Okay, then lastly, will be learn to speak. The self-talk, problem, emotion, accept, and kind. So we are coming towards the end. So yes, be accountable to yourself, not anyone. This one very important. Learn to speak. Speak for yourself. Okay, teach others how to treat you, because everyone deserves respect. Okay, good. Okay, so seeking help is not a weakness. Seeking help is a sign of courage and strength. All right, seek help from someone who will not judge you. All right, seek help from a listener, not a talker. Okay, seek, and most importantly, right, seek help from your inner voice, especially when you can find peace. Because once we find peace, right, we have the power to solve most of the problems. Remember one thing, our brain is very powerful. You never know what you can do until you're forced to do it. Okay? Yes, finally, don't be okay if you are not okay. If you don't feel right, you just have to speak up. All right, again, I'm not asking you all to argue, quarrel, or anything. You just speak up your own rights. You think that, oh, I think this one is no hard feelings. This is what I feel only. But if your opinions are not accepted, it's okay. Because at least I speak up already. People know what I'm thinking. All right. So really, thank you so much for taking the time. Favorite drink is